Hello everyone and welcome back to ICU Wellness channel. My name is Mar and I'm the founder of ICU Wellness, and I'm excited to do this video with you all about awakening and signs that you are going through an awakening and that you are not actually crazy. So when I was going through my awakening process, I had no idea what the hell was going on, but my world was turned upside down and I had to find my way out of the darkness, the dark night of the soul part, and eventually was able to begin doing this work and helping others as well. So it's important to note that there is a huge wave of people awakening this year and have been in past years. Now, a lot of people are going through this and they don't really know what exactly is happening. They're not aware that they're awakening. So I'm going to share 10 different signs with you out of my own experience. This is based on my own experience. I am not a medical professional. I'm an energy practitioner. So please take what works for you and leave the rest. So these are 10 signs that you might be experiencing if you're going through your awakening process, okay? So if you have 5, 6, or more of these symptoms, you might be going through an awakening process, and it's important that you are gentle with yourself, you seek help and you seek community, and you give yourself the support you need, because I can tell you this, it gets so much better. All right, so first sign that you're awakening, that you're not crazy. You are going through a dark night of the soul. And this can look like a deep depression, anxiety, perhaps even panic attacks. And you're just in this really, really dark place where you had to go so deep within yourself to look at all the structures that are no longer working. You're becoming aware of all that you don't want anymore, that you don't care about anymore. So to me, depression is definitely one of the main initiations through your own awakening journey. That was my personal initiation, and while it hurts and it sucks, it is a very, very powerful initiation that basically takes you out of the outside world into yourself so that you can reconfigure who you are, what you're here to do. In my experience, when I was going through that dark night of the soul, I was working in a corporation, big agency, advertising agency in Manhattan, in Madison Avenue, and that was my dream, and I went and did it. But then at some point I realized, well, this isn't it, because here I am, I'm not satisfied, I'm not fulfilled. So there is that depression, that anxiety triggers a deep need for you to go seek out your purpose. So without that, you might just stay comfortable and not follow your purpose. So if you are going through a dark night of the soul, I encourage you to seek help and seek people who have gone through this before and can assist you in aligning your life. So that's the first sign. The second sign you're going through an awakening is that you have physical pain that comes and goes, but doctors cannot seem to find. So the best way I can explain this pain is that you feel these aches, or sometimes like your back is just killing you. You just feel like a headache, or like this part of your forehead hurts, like you have a headache here. So in my experience, when I was going through my process, there were times where I thought something is wrong with my heart, like something is off, I have to go to the doctor. And I went to a heart doctor, got EKG done, and everything came out perfectly fine. So if you have been experiencing physical pain and doctors can't do anything about it, and medicine doesn't really help, I want you to see it from the perspective that this is energetic pain that you're feeling. So when we awaken, the energy that has been stagnant has to flow and move out. And sometimes as it moves out, it gets stuck and we feel that pain, and then eventually it moves out. So if you are feeling this, of course, always check with your doctor, right? They can say we don't know, but at least you checked. You checked that it's nothing crazy. Definitely stay out of WebMD and of internet, and perhaps seek energetic support from an energy healer, an energy practitioner. Go to yoga, do some qigong, basically do some energy work or an energy practice to help you shift the energy in your body so that it doesn't get stuck in one place and cause the physical pain that is in its root energetic. Okay, so that's the second one. It's not a very fun one. None of these are really fun, but they lead to somewhere amazing. So the third sign that you're going through an awakening process and that you're not crazy is that you feel disconnected from your friends, from your job, from your career, even from your family. You just feel this sense of just disconnected. The things that you used to love to do no longer fulfill you, which can lead to a depression or anxious thoughts and feelings. So you feel that disconnection. The reason why you feel that disconnection with your life that you have built is not because it's not like you're not being punished. You're not. It's really a call. It's that call. It's that realization that is, you get it from your soul. This is not an intellectual process, right? You get that confirmation from your soul, that calling, and then you look at your life and you see that you're far from that calling. You're not really doing what you're here to do, even though you don't intellectually know what you're here to do. You just realize that all that you've been doing maybe has been for other people, or what you've been told to do by society, by parents, by just society in general, conditioning. So when you go through your awakening process, you simply feel disconnected because the things that you used to do that used to make you happy, no longer fulfill you because there is a bigger calling. So if you feel disconnected, I urge you to seek help and seek places and spaces where you do feel connected. Maybe that confine that one friend and allow yourself to forgive yourself and forgive others for not being where you are. And if there is a group of friends that you need to let go of, or a job that you need to let go of, then that will happen, and that actually needs to happen. So don't hold on, just surrender. The awakening process requires all of us to be in a surrender state so that the energy can move through us in an efficient way. So the fourth symptom you might be having, or sign that you might be having while you're awakening, is an increased sensitivity. So this one for me was like, it went from 10 to 5,000. You just feel, the sensitivity is not necessarily just emotional, feeling emotional, although it can be. So that looks like mood swings. You're feeling these intense energies. Like 1 second you're very happy, very joyful, and then at some point you need to retrieve, and you don't feel safe anymore, and you need to retrieve, or you need to retreat, you need to separate, or you just feel irritated. So there's an increased sensitivity and irritation. So things that used to kind of not bother you, or you used to allow in, receive from others, is going to become harder as you becoming more sensitive and you're picking up on subtle energies. So this could be as simple as you're listening to one of your favorite musician or an album that you love, and all of a sudden you're just like, I'm not interested in this music anymore, or like, I just don't feel like it's triggering something within me. Or sometimes you just are around people and you just can't be. Like, for example, if you used to go out and go drinking and have fun and all of that, all of a sudden it's gonna feel unnatural, weird, and it's not gonna feel organic to you. So use that sensitivity to not beat yourself up, but to honor it. The increased sensitivity comes to let you know what is no longer aligned with you so that you can make this take action towards what is. For me, that looked like going to happy hours after work to completely not being able to do that as I was overwhelmed with everything. And this is not how I was in the past. It just became that. I stopped going to the happy hours after work and I started going to yoga after work, because if I didn't go to yoga, my body would be hurting. And if my body will be hurting, I'll be miserable at work. So there were things that I had to do in order to help my body release that energy. So the sensitivity is a gift to guide you towards what is aligned with you. So if you're around something or someone, you feel a sense of peace, a sense of relaxation, belonging, good. If you feel irritated, the best thing to do is to remove yourself and take care of yourself, take care of your body. This is your intuition telling you you need to retreat, okay? So allow yourself to do that. Which leads me to my next point. The fifth sign you might be going through an awakening is that you want to spend a lot of time alone and you tend to isolate yourself. So that hermit mode is very important actually in the awakening process. So if you find yourself wanting to spend time alone, don't feel guilty about it. Don't feel guilty to cancel plans with people, to say no to people. Listen, your life is about to completely shift and change. You're about to step into your purpose with this awakening process. So don't blame others for not being on the same path as you, but do move forward in your path and trust that whoever is supposed to be on that path with you will meet you there. So if you want to be alone, honor that time. That is the time where you get to process that dark night of the soul, clear out whatever needs to be clear, and then and work with your sensitivity. So alone time is where your spirit guides get to work with you. Alone time is where you get to rediscover yourself and your purpose. So if you're feeling alone or isolated, please seek community. This is one of the reasons why I created I See You Wellness and I See You Wellness Studio, so that we have a space to come together. So if you're in New York City, please come to the studio. If you're not, know that somewhere, wherever you are, there is a community for you. And if you can't find one, then you have us here on YouTube and Instagram and all that. So the sixth symptom that you might be going through an awakening is feeling like you don't belong. So this was a big one for me because I was always feeling like that ever since I was a child. And I thought I was an alien. And I thought I was crazy, but then I grew up and I'm like, oh yeah, actually I am an alien. Oh, look at that. I was right this whole time. So if you feel like you don't belong, know that in a way you don't, because you're coming from another reality where maybe there isn't a lot of wars and hate, and it's not as dense as Earth. So when you feel like you don't belong, here on Earth, have compassion with yourself. Have compassion with the part of you that feels it's difficult to be here, because it is. But what I can tell you is that you do belong. And it just feels like you don't belong, right? It feels like you don't belong. So it's okay to sit with that, because maybe where you are at that moment is not the place where you need to be. So for me, I felt like I didn't belong when I was in that job, right? At some point, at first I was fine, but then I'm like, no, I definitely don't belong here, and something has to change and all that, which led me into the whole spiral. I'll tell you the story another time. But I felt like I didn't belong, but I no longer have that feeling right now. Even though I spend a lot of time alone, I feel like I belong anywhere I go. It's the opposite. So perhaps you don't belong in the groups that you are in right now. So allow yourself the time, that aloneness, and tune into your sensitivity so it can guide you towards your people, your soul family, the ones you came here to do work with. okay? And most importantly, create a relationship with yourself, with your higher self, with yourself. You should be enough. So that is a practice that you can do, is just love yourself, accept yourself, and enjoy yourself. Enjoy the company of your own company without needing somebody to complete you, okay? So the next sign that you might be going through an awakening, number 7, is increased appetite for all things spiritual. Okay, so if you feel like all of a sudden you just want to, you go on YouTube or Instagram and you want to like read spiritual things, and you buy like spiritual books and listening to Super Soul, Oprah Super Soul Sunday, and all these things, that is definitely a sign. It's like all of a sudden your appetite for spirituality just opens up, because there is this energy within you that was activated and now is pulling all the information that you need in order to fortify yourself and fortify your body and your mind and reprogram your mind so that you can move forward and you can continue to move forward in your life. So if you're feeling like you're binge watching all things spiritual, this is a phase. Don't worry about it. Allow yourself to be a sponge, because back in the days, what you would do is just show up to a temple and immerse yourself. And you can definitely do that now, but with social media and all the access that we have, you can always be surrounded with good vibes simply by having a phone. You can always be surrounded with wisdom and spiritual clarity. You can always find somebody, an energy reader like myself, who can bring you that clarity and guide you in your journey. So if you're feeling like all you want to do is talk about spiritual things, this is normal. Embrace it, and do find people you can talk about these things to. Now, I don't recommend you push that agenda to or people who are already existing in your life that you know are not interested or are not going through their process as well. If they are going through the same process as you, absolutely talk it out. But if they're not, it's best to find somebody who does, so that you don't create resentment there. Because just because they're not going through their awakening process does not mean there's anything wrong with them, okay? This isn't about, I'm better, you're not. No, that's all ego. They are perfectly fine, but you need to take care of yourself, okay? So the next point, number 8, about the signs that you're awakening, is that you're feeling a new, deeper connection to Earth. So here's how it goes. Earth, as a being, as a living, sentient being, herself, she is awakening. And because we are part of the Earth, we literally are made up of the same stuff, hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, that the Earth, we are the Earth, then we are also moving and ascending and awakening as well. So this is all happening on a mass level. Everyone on Earth is going through this now. Not everybody's going through it at the same time, because there's so much density. So if this is your time, and you're feeling like you're connected, you're feeling like more connected to Earth, as in you feel how Earth is hurting and all that's going on, from climate change to landfills and coral dying and animals going extinct, and just so much concrete and not enough earth. And so if you feel that you're feeling that emotions that Earth is probably going through, this is a call for you to connect with Earth. So that is a very clear sign that your system is now attuning to Earth frequency, as opposed to some foreign frequency, which anything that's man-made frequencies. Those are unnatural, inorganic. So if you're feeling like Earth is calling you and you just want to be outside and you just want to feel what Earth is feeling, that is beautiful and powerful, definitely a big sign. that you're awakening. So number 9, a sign that you're awakening is that you're noticing repeating numbers. And some people call them angel numbers. And those are like 1111, 222, 333, 555, 5757, 5454, you name it. But if you notice yourself, if you notice that you've been seeing a lot of these repeating numbers, that's not random, because the universe isn't random, and the universe is made out of numbers. Essentially, that's how we interpret the universe. So those are angel numbers, and they're a way for your guides for the universe to communicate something to you. So whether it's I see you, you're here, I got you, you're taken care of, you are protected, you will be able to decipher that message. You can also just Google it, 11111 angel number, what does it mean, and go through the rabbit hole and find the one that works for you. This is part of that increased appetite in all things spiritual, so feel free to go down the rabbit hole and dig deep until you find the answers that make sense to you. But repeating numbers are one of the most fun things about awakening, because you get to talk to the universe in numbers at all times, and you never feel alone. So the very last sign, number 10, that you're awakening is that your life is turning upside down. And by that, I mean, you just know, you have this deep knowing that everything has to go. It's like a store that has like liquidation sale, like everything has to go. That's kind of what it feels like in the beginning. You just know it, but it feels so daunting. It's like, how can I even do this? But that is a sign your life is turning upside down. You're losing friendships, perhaps even losing jobs or quitting jobs, and all of these things, big life changes. It's definitely a sign that you're awakening. So these are my 10 signs based on my experience. I would love to hear from you about what you've been experiencing, if you are going through this process. And lastly, I just want to say that you are so powerful, and you have so much that you are called to bring into this world, and it's so exciting to be alive at this time. And I hope that no matter what you're feeling, whether it's depression or anxiety or isolation or aloneness or whatever is going on in your life, know that this is just the beginning. And then the more you walk through this path, the more you surrender to this path, the easier things get. So I love you. I see you. I'm cheering for you. I respect you. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I would be so happy to answer them. And if you have any requests for any video, feel free to let me know. Thank you all so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Mwah.